Okay, we're going to look at how to finish with the grips. You're just in that position there, bro. On your knees. Perfect. So, we'll just put it here. So I've got Frankie up into the position here, and we're here. Obviously, the goal when we were going for the shoulder wrench was to get Frankie's arm onto my shoulder and pinching. But sometimes he wants to turn his elbow down, and it ends up sort of off my shoulder in the crook of my arm. So the first grip will be, I want the crook of my arm around his arm, and now my junction will be over the shoulder, if that makes sense. Now if you've noticed, Frankie's elbow and shoulders in line, the first concept we want to be thinking about is basically getting his elbow higher than his shoulder. That's the first thing we're thinking about. The second thing we want to be thinking about is the grip. Now we talked about when we got it on the shoulder, so the first grip would be crook of my arm around his arm, and the junction is here. Then I'm probably going to shrimp up and get it on my shoulder. Once I get it on my shoulder, I'm pinching with my ear, and now the grips from here, I'm going to start using my elbow. The whole goal is to keep Frankie's elbow pointing out to the side. So I'm going to start at the armpit, and then I come back, and I'm using my forearm and my elbow to turn his elbow up as I start to cinch in here. We always start further down the arm and then further up the arm towards the armpit with our grips, and then we're moving back. The problem is, from our position, if we get into here and we go for the elbow and then I pull back and I get my grip over the top of his elbow or below his elbow towards his wrist, you can't go back. You know, see, as I've lost that, Frankie's just turning his elbow in, and then I'm going to have to switch to something else. So the second concept is we always start towards the armpit with our grips, and then as I shrug, I'm continually getting his elbow facing up. And again, I talked about earlier we were using this, but another thing you can be thinking about is as I pinch back, I'm going to get my elbow or the crook of my arm around his elbow. So again, that's really ideal there. You know, I'm just kind of getting this over. So first concept is get his elbow higher than his shoulder. I can also do that with the pushing on my feet. Pushing with my feet on his knees takes his base away, gets his shoulder lower, which means his elbow's higher, and then keeping those grips. Never starting here, always at the armpit and always coming back. If it's on the shoulder, I'm constantly pinching. Let's talk about, for me to hit this move, switch positions. Frankie needs to keep my head on the right side of the body. Anytime he's here and he gets my arm on his shoulder, he's continually cinching to get my elbow up. Let's just say I get my elbow down slightly. I can't turn it anymore, but watch my head positioning. I can start bringing my head to the other side and dropping them down. And now try to finish from there, it's just not going to happen. This is when he's going to collect the head. So watch, we're in our position. Just go from our half butterfly. So from half guard, we got our hook in. We punch this in, we use this to make Frankie put his hand on the mat, and now from there I went for the shoulder wrench without the head. So we got up to this position here. So as I cinch in to get it and Frankie's head comes over, watch, from there I just collect the head again. And now you have so much more control of his shoulders with head control as well. He wants to bring his head this way, I can bring it back, and once I keep it to my right side, now I can start bringing the head over. As he tries to bring it back again, I can just use my elbow, okay, to keep his head on that side. Now we're back into the whole concepts. Get his elbow higher than his shoulder. I have it on my shoulder, so I'm pinching with my ear. I can start kicking out his knees, and now look, I'm bringing the crook of my arm under his elbow, and now we have that. Anytime I lose it and maybe Frankie turns his elbow down, starting to bring his head over, I'm back into head control again. And now I can use my butterfly hook to move him again, keeping him on the right hand side, But to finish the shoulder wrench, I need to come back again. It'll be a constant battle of keeping his head on this side, getting his elbow higher than his shoulder, and keeping my grips at the armpit. And then I can punch in. So it's a constant battle there. Sometimes you're not going to get the shoulder wrench straight away. You'll be constantly fighting for those three things. Let's drill that one, guys.